So, to just clue you into what I'm going through right now, here's one example. It's not a big example, but then I can switch to the next example, and suddenly there's a lot more to translate. And you'll notice that for PERM specifically, there is a lot more going on, and that's for a good reason. I'll explain when we get past the timestamps, but let's first set up this run. My mouth is tumbling for a bit, because I just hurt myself earlier. Not on my own, I had an accident, but Zectast Fatalist, basically I face planted into something and it was not great. By the way, Zectast Fatalist, well, I'll also show you a bit of the items that I was translating. So as we get into, because we are playing on with PERM, so I mean it should be quite obvious in a moment. But as we get into Zectast Fatalist custom character. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of translation stuff. I was supposed to start this with the saying, but I guess not. So I'll try it next time. So yeah, so this is what I meant last episode by their temp graphics, because it would take a lot of time. There are at least, I want to say, well, with different levels, because obviously there are fresh versions. There are fresh versions, there are not fresh versions, and then there are stale versions of a lot of these items. Yeah, that's what I think. I think this was supposed to say branch. I don't know why I said that. Oh no, because this one does replace the tree branch. Which again, there are fresh versions, normal versions, which don't have any modifier, and then the stale versions. But if we look here at first, at dexterity, second encounter, light, knowledge, charisma, and then maybe Takushi-san. The important part is that I have to go through the events, and I completely forgot for some reason while I was translating that I have to translate the events as well, which, again, are similar to the non-PERM versions, but gameplay and how they actually function is completely different, because they take items like these that are meant for PERM, and they can be used for those events. So, shrug. I took the library notes out. I'm sad. But, as you'll see, I'm still working with the non-PERM cooking events, so you'll notice that I will not be able to use any of these items, where the tree branch would normally substitute for the branch, as it says here, and then the asparagus here also substitutes for the tree branch or branch in cases where you can use either item. I think there are other places you can use them as well, but again, that's part of PERM's customization in terms of custom content, and how you can make at least items and events interact with each other. But as we actually get started on this run, and these items are essentially just going to be here for healing, because again, I don't have their relevant events softly translated yet. That's right, we're on Fatalist, so in we go. So this would have been Recluse if it weren't for the fact there's a custom mystery there. I guess we'll take the middle one first, because there's no custom mystery there. So into Coma we go. That way we don't have to, I can just take it and be like, okay, this is the random mystery I fight first. Anyway, let's get into this run. I don't want to cook yet, and also the creator of this character overall did add tips that you're supposed to be using. Yeah, and I'm not following those tips because I forgot to read them over. Blood Frenzy, no. As fun as that might look, it's not that fun. And into an army knife we go. So let's finally get started and hope for us to not get absolutely obliterated. There's 3 ZST on this character, so I need 2 dexterity and 1 charisma. ZST, for those who don't know, is just my little home phrase for how many stats I need to increase value-wise in a Zectast run to avoid dying at 84%. Let me repeat that, because that was a long phrase. I consider ZST, basically I call them Zectast points. How many stats you need to increase in total to get all of your stats above where you will survive if you get to 84 Doom. Now, obviously, there are Zectast events, so this number can fluctuate, but for the most part, for an unlucky person, you need to increase, well, in this case, it would have been Dexterity by 2 and Charisma by 1, so therefore 3 points overall. That's 3 ZST. That's my equivalent there. Should have actually brought the item that replaces them. No, I think it was wine. Yeah, I think it might have been wine. Well, anywho. I think we can go for the cooking now. Yeah, we could probably go for the cooking now. Luck check? I don't know how much luck this character has. It's okay, but let's make use of this event first. Again, keeping in mind that I can't replace any of these 2 items, so you know what? I should probably just eat them and move on. Now, inside of them, I could have actually shown you the code for these at the very beginning of the run. I wanted to show you the translation progress instead, so that's just what I decided to do. But I think I could have used something completely different. Well, yeah. This should have been, I think it was the bottle of milk. And then we use the funds here, and we should come out positive overall, question mark. No, I don't think we do. Well, hey, let's just do some practice here. and try our best, because I don't think we still don't have anything. Yeah, we don't have anything. But it's a luck check, so it's fine for the moment, because we do need the stamina and the doom decrease, even though we just took reason right here. But anywho, as we take our time skip in the face and that doom was actually just negated, yeah, again, there's a lot going on with this character. Now, is it gameplay balanced or not? I think the creator said in their tips or their readme text file that the character isn't, you know, it wasn't made for balance. It was made for immersion and fun, which, I mean, yeah, that does take priority to a certain extent, but that extent is very high. Like, obviously, if you want to immerse yourself so much that your character suddenly just crashes when you try to play the character, that's one thing. But for the most part, yeah, I think this character is perfectly fine. In fact, as I mentioned before, this character is a perfect, can be a perfect showcase in what you can do with PERM. And this is just characters. This is not talking about mysteries, old gods, or backstories, which I don't think we have another backstory or old god yet in PERM. Again, if you don't know what PERM is, basically it allows you to do a lot more stuff with custom content in World of Horror, but you need to have it working with World of Horror. You're not really installing anything because you're not touching any game files. It's code that's being injected with World of Horror, if I recall correctly. If I'm wrong, well, correct me. So there I was actually quite lucky. Dexterity, so I don't have to worry about increasing it. That being said, I need these funds to cook, but you know what? So be it. Yeah. I think that was just to avoid a bad situation, but I don't remember now. So, police patrol village. You know what? Let's tree for more funds just to make our cooking lives easier. I need to keep an eye on our experience. So we have 71 experience when I try to force this cooking event. So, let's find out. 71, I don't have any meat, I know for sure. Let's try the soup. Yeah, so you lose experience there, but question mark. We have a branch. Again, I don't mind that the item doesn't get taken away. This is the non-perm version, by the way. In the perm version, it probably does. The item probably does get taken away, but we do come out plus. Shrug. And let's see what I want to actually do. Let's actually do research, because I think we have something for it. No, we don't. Golomka, 10 experience. Yeah, 10 experience. So basically we got 5 experience and 1 fun for that whole process. Then we might have lost something else, but hey. Also, yeah, Zektas just actually saved us a lot. So instead, we're going to rest here. We're going to take the Zektas stat decrease, but I feel like I need the stamina and reason for Loom here. That being said, okay, so we actually ran into the Cooking Club event normally. We do have a lump of flesh, so we'll use it. Again, it doesn't get taken away. We have a branch as well. So branch, lump of flesh seems to be the easiest thing I can think of. We don't have the wine bottle or Champagne, so shrug. But let's store the... We can't store the cookbook, can we? No, we can't. So we'll store the bandage instead. We use funds for that, I believe. And let's see. Yeah, we get 2 funds. I don't remember if we get experience, but let's just grab more experience because it would be very, very helpful. And off we go. So, but then the cost does come at the very beginning of that, because you could just end up losing all the experience that you would have gained at the end there. That's all I'm trying to say. Was it not Loom? It might have been... Oh, I think it was the other one with the mask. I'm sorry, Haspin. I'm just going to name drop that because it is his or her mysteries or their mysteries that I keep messing up. I don't actually know what the mystery is called. I'm trying to think of... I was trying to fill in time to think of the mystery, and I failed. So, yeah, off we go. Gosh dang it, me. Quick spend, quick shopper, big spender. So on a non-harbinger difficulty, this again, the creator did give advice as to what this character should be doing. On both, do I actually get a lot more inventory slots? Let's find out. No, but if I unequip the backpack, I guess I can keep some of my thingamajiggies. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, moving on. I forgot what I was gonna say, so I'm just gonna move on for the moment. Oh, no, something about the creator did add in basically Harbinger and non-Harbinger advice in case you wanted to basically interact with this character's design. If we want to be critical on a more neutral basis, because I think there's also positives and negatives, not negatives in terms of, oh, this was done badly, but negatives in terms of, hey, if you want to make a game harder or easier, the opposite, and then the opposite ends up happening. An example of this is that, say a custom character has a katana and nothing else, then yes, if you meant for the character to have a hard time in World of Horror, you shouldn't give them a katana, and if you do give them katana, you need to negate it with something else, basically. Shrug. This is stamina for Doom, right? Yeah, I mean, I need it, but not so much that I can just get out. And if we hit both of these attacks, we're okay. Yeah, let me focus for a moment and get back to what I was talking about. Yeah, and how that relates specifically to this character. She, as of the moment, again, for the non-perm version, I think it's quite okay, because I wouldn't try to, especially if you're not trying to force someone to interact with the character's mechanics, then you shouldn't really force them. Obviously, again, even the base characters are kind of forcing you to pay attention to some extent, but it's not really. I mean, I'm thinking of Yashiro. Yashiro is the main example I'm thinking of in my head. The reason why I'm thinking of Yashiro is because Faith, you will have high positive faith just by playing well in World of Horror. Well can be a subjective opinion here. In my case, it's subjective in the way that I think playing well in World of Horror means you're not losing a lot of stamina or reason or doom, or keeping losses to a minimum, basically. But yeah, in that same vein, I mean, if you are, I mean, the whole point to adding a mechanic to a character usually is to have the a player interact with it, right, for fun. Otherwise, I think in most cases, in just games in general, you end up giving a character mechanic to make it harder. I don't know if that's actually true, so I have to think about that, because I haven't played a huge variety of games, but I played a variety of games, and that's just how I believe that most times adding mechanics to characters work. But again, I don't know the intent of the character, and I thought it was to have fun or to immerse yourselves, and in that regard, I consider her a success. But that being said, I need to run from this. And now we're at 70% Doom on our 4th mystery. I think we have to just put this in our mouth. As much as I wanted to keep it, yeah, I don't think we could. Actually, I should have done the cooking event first. I just realized, but it's too late now, so we'll hold off for a moment just in case we get another meat item. It has to be the long pig steak or the lump of flesh, and if it's neither, shrug, I guess. Yeah, you know what? We're just going to take the hit. Because we have 4 funds, we might as well use it for something. Keeping an eye on my experience. 92. So, again, this is forcing the event that's already available. But this event in itself with the ally is not. So, shrug. I think it is the meat, right? Yeah, meat, because we can use the branch at some point. I was supposed to keep an eye on my experience. I completely forgot, but hey. And then let's take the experience here. So, I could have gotten pancakes there, so go through the middle choice and then pick the right choice and roll on luck. I forgot what happens when you fail the luck check, but maybe I should find that out in the last mystery, if I reach that far. Alternatively, monument. And also, something really interesting that World of Horror does is that if you add in-game music, the game will modify that music accordingly. So when I enter the monument there, I believe it does something to the background noise. Also, funds don't exist. I just took a stat decrease. I forgot to increase the stat, didn't I? I did. Otherwise, I would not have lost to the perfect form here. But, you know, without further ado, not really much else to say. I'll continue trying to translate the perm version of this character, soft translation. I would never upload, well, 1, another creator's creation without their permission or something. And 2, if I'm doing a soft translation, I don't translate everything like the text in the events. I don't often like to do that. But yeah, if you have anything to say, any questions, comments, concerns, criticism, you know what to do. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!